Hey, this is Rachelle. Welcome to our Silly Goose family. If you've been watching our videos recently, you may know that the fact that I'm recording in our bathroom means I have at least cleaned it well enough that I don't cringe if one of my kids' friends needs to use the bathroom. Does that mean I would cringe if an adult woman needed to use it? Probably still would. But if a kid needs to, we're good. Did I set the bar for myself pretty low? Yes, I did. But did I reach the bar? Again, yes. Yes, I did. Careful, please. I don't want you to knock this over. Anyway, so I need to continue doing some things in here.
The chicks and ducks are huge.
Yeah, they're getting really big. We'll
show you a pic. We'll show you in a video soon.
Yeah. Hey, how about you finish getting ready for the day?
I thought I did. I got socks on.
Well, that's an important part. But did you do your teeth, face, and hair?
Yes.
Survey says no. Okay.
I did.
I don't think you did. It's probably good that they can't smell.
Yeah, there you go.
This is green. All right. You finish those things while I do.
They're not green. They're literally white. Clean white.
Okay.
I'm serious.
One thing that I just did today is I created a checklist for Asher. Some daily things. I'm trying to help give him tools.
We're in the bathroom. Mom just used the bathroom over there.
I'm going to mention this. I think I can mention this without feeling like I'm sharing too much. So Asher is autistic, and we believe he has the PDA profile, if you're familiar with that. And it's not public displays of affection, if you're not familiar. It is most commonly known as pathological demand avoidance, but a lot of people with PDA prefer persistent demand for autonomy.
Ew.
So anyway, if you're not familiar with it all, basically anything that feels like a demand can trigger the fight, flight, or freeze in the nervous system. So helping Asher with responsibilities, it can be tricky. So I'm trying a list. I don't know. It looks like a lot to me, and maybe you're like, that doesn't really look like a lot. Maybe some of you are like, oh man, that looks like a ton. I tried to break down some things to make sure that each step gets done. And then I consolidated some things so that it doesn't look so long. So we'll see how it goes. Today, just trying it out. I left some blanks at the bottom so we can add things. It's laminated so we can reuse it. We'll see. We needed some help in some areas, so I'm gonna try it.
I hope I'll see you in the next part.
So today I'm gonna try to plant some more seeds. We have a weekly appointment that we're gonna go to. And I think there's supposed to be some rain sometime. Oh, and I want to try to put more soil around the pond. And what's that, Abraham? You want to help me fill buckets with soil? You can't wait to dig soil? Is that? I think that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you say that, right? Yeah. You want to fill at least 7 wagonfuls of buckets of soil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I'm holding it.
I'm off the counter.
All right, Abraham, you finish getting ready, and we'll get some shovels and get going, okay?
We'll see you in the next part.
My first goal as far as planting seeds today is these 2x4 raised beds along the sidewalk. I wasn't fully thinking about all the stuff I needed to move out of those beds so that I can plant seeds. I've basically been using them as like holding places for seedlings and what's still left in the winter sowing jugs and stuff that I use. So I think I'm probably going to shift a lot of them and just kind of put them on the stepping stones around the 4x8s maybe. I'm not really in a place where I need to be able to reach into those beds right now. I just need to be able to water them. So I think that's what I'm gonna do and see how that goes.
I'm back.
All right, I have spotted something flying around the garden beds. I'm hoping it will come land so I can get it on video for you. I think it's a cabbage moth. All right, I'm gonna stand over here and see if it'll come back. I don't know a lot about specific pests. That's something I need to learn. But cabbage moths, if that is indeed what this is. Ooh, there, that's it flying. It's taunting me. I'm pretty sure that's what ate up our brassicas last year. We didn't have a lot. We had like 1 or 2 each of broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage that I got from a nursery as like, oh, there we go. Oh, flew off. That I got like as seed starts, whatever you call them. Not as, I didn't plant them from seed. But let me tell you, it felt like one day we had those plants and they were doing great. And the next day they were gone. Like down to nothing but like the stems. All the leaves had been chewed off. And I remember seeing caterpillars first. And so anyway, so now, you know, I'm a little more aware this year. I'm going to keep my eye out. I haven't seen any caterpillars, and that's the first moth I've seen. So we'll see. Because I'm actually so happy with how things are going out here. And I'm sad to think that this cute little moth could like take it all down. I moved everything over, and I thought I'd give you a little glimpse. Some of the stuff's still really struggling. I don't know if it's the increased heat, if they're getting too much sun, not enough water. I have no idea. So anyway, this is marigolds. And then that transitions into other flowers. Like, so many of them are struggling. Oh my word. Still some flowers, and then transition into things like tomatoes and some herbs. Some of the herbs are doing okay. Like the basil still looks okay overall. Peppers struggling. So I'm just gonna plant those from seed and directly into the beds. Nasturtium. These are some things that I up-potted. The tomatillos overall are looking okay, but the honeywort that I up-potted, like half of those cups were honeywort, and so many of them didn't really survive being up-potted. So I guess there's something I need to learn there. And then this starts where the dahlia is there in the corner, but then all these cups, this is where I restarted tomato seeds. So we're still a couple days away from hitting that like 7-day mark for those. So hopefully in a few days we'll start seeing the tomato seeds sprouting. I wanted to show you how I've got this ready. I mentioned I'm doing the square foot gardening method. Well, I think I mentioned it in my last video. So I just took my ruler and kind of made an imprint. You know, the actual square foot gardening method, you know, he says you should make a grid that stays on top of it all the time. Some people use string or twine, which I did consider doing, but this is probably more my style and whatnot for this season. Maybe I'll do something more permanent in the future. We'll see. I got the first bed of peppers planted, and I'm wondering if I planted the seeds too deeply. Pepper seeds are pretty tiny. I probably should have put them right below the surface, and they're probably 1 inch down. I used my chopstick and made my hole, and when I covered them up, I was like, that might be too deep. So I think that primarily will impact how long it takes for them to sprout above the surface. So I'm basically going to be like Rose at the end of the Titanic. It's been 84 years, you know, that meme. And then hopefully they'll pop up. I am doing a technique that I've seen a lot of people talking about having success with. Now, I'm going to plant 2 seeds at a time. Regardless of what I'm planting, I'm going to plant 2 seeds at a time to hopefully have better germination success. And then in theory, I'll thin out the plants. But with the peppers, I won't. The plan is to leave the 2 together the whole time, because supposedly peppers do well when they have a buddy and they grow together. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? So we'll see. That's what I'm going to try, and hopefully it will be successful. 1 bed down, 6 to go in this area. You guys, I was walking by and something caught my eye and I thought, oh, this is probably flowers. Look, I think that's actually like the start of a little, the start of a little pea pod. Like, come on, how fun. Seriously, look. There are actually several of them. Oh, look, more. So fun, guys. It's happening around here. Things are really happening. Mom. Over here too. Look, I see the little flowers, but look, they're little pea pods and they're happening too. With lots of rain this week, maybe we'll be able to eat peas soon. I say this as someone who doesn't really like peas. I'll report back on that. These are supposed to be snap peas though. I do like those more than like regular peas. So fun. I'm so excited, guys. This is actually popcorn. It doesn't say that on the front, but I thought that was cool. We've never grown, well, we haven't had success growing corn in general, but certainly not popcorn. So that will be a lot of fun if this is successful. I planted half a bed of peppers and a whole bed of the strawberry popcorn. And we've got to head off to an appointment. So I'll hopefully be able to finish things up this afternoon. So that's 2.5 beds out of 7. So I didn't get as far as I wanted to. I will say that planting a whole bed of one thing is definitely faster than planting one bed with lots of different things. But I'm trying to get a variety of some things. So, but the corn, I originally had it split between a couple of beds and I was like, why? Let's just put it all in one. And so I don't think I have all 7 beds actually planned out now that I'm like saying this out loud. So I may not actually have to do all 7 today. I've got some space left in several of my beds. I think I already mentioned this, so that once I've got everything planted, I can go back and go, oh, I had space here, or whatever, and fill back in with things that I think will be our favorites so that we get more of those. The corn, I did not put 2 seeds per hole. I'll just go back in and fill in as needed because I was planting a lot of that. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of seeds, which I do. I just, I also need to check the days to, what's it called? So I've got sprout days, but like corn has like, it's not on this package. So with corn, there's like timing involved if you're planting more than one kind of corn. So I need to check that. I have 3 other kinds of corn I'm going to grow, and I have to make sure that I time them right so that none of them are tasseling at the same time, so that they don't cross-pollinate and end up making like funky corn that nobody wants. Maybe the chickens will still eat it, but we definitely want the popcorn to stay true to itself, and the peaches and cream corn, that's for us to eat, like just straight off the cob, sweet corn. Excited about that. All right, I'm gonna pack up all this stuff and move it. So I think it might rain while we're gone, and I don't want stuff to get rained on. So we're gonna head off to that appointment and get on with the rest of our day. We just got home from our appointment. It started raining a little while we were there, but it definitely got harder as we were on our way home. We're driving on the interstate, and of course, that just makes it seem like it's raining even harder. And at one point, Asher said, Mama, well, first he started asking me questions, like if it was hard to drive in the rain and things like that. And as the rain got harder, he's like, is it hard now to drive in the rain and things like that? And I told him that, yeah, sometimes it could be hard to drive in the rain, but I felt okay, at that point. And then he goes, Mama, I feel scared. And so I asked him if he would like to pray or if he wanted me to pray. And he said he wanted me to. And so I prayed for us. I prayed for our safety and for the safety of everyone else in the middle of the rainstorm, and just asked God to give us peace. You might be able to hear the rain now. It's starting to rain harder again. And I had this realization that I don't think I'd really processed before, that I was the parent driving through the storm and not the kid riding through a storm. You might be like, well, duh, Rachelle, you've been a parent for 9.5 years. But I have this vivid memory from when I was a kid, maybe like early teens. I was with my dad, my stepmom, my brother and sister. I was in the back seat. I think I was in the middle between my two siblings. That part's not really that significant. It was raining. I mean, like, actually like a terrible thunderstorm. One of, at least at that point in my life, one of the scariest thunderstorms I remember ever being in. And we were going over the old bridge in Charleston, South Carolina. I think it was called the Cooper River Bridge. It's not it's the one that they eventually tore down and they have replaced. So that bridge had its own level of scariness. Anyway, and when you add this really intense thunderstorm, I mean, it was a little bit scary. And the Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks was playing. It's just like great timing. Again, vivid memory. And my dad was driving. And I remember being scared of the thunderstorm, but feeling safe because my dad was driving. So I guess in a sense, feeling safe in the midst of something scary. So as I'm having this realization, I'm like, okay, so my kid is the one in the back seat now feeling scared, and I'm the one driving. So who's making me feel safe? But, you know, as we're praying and everything, you know, it's this, you know, my feeling of safety comes from my Heavenly Father ultimately. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the comfort He can bring us in the midst of scary things. Like the moments when we were like, oh wait, I'm the parent. I'm the one. I'm the one who's got to keep everyone safe right now. Instead of just chilling in the back seat, trusting in the driver. So I don't know. I wanted to share that. You know, sometimes we just have those moments as parents. So we were like, oh wait, I'm the one in charge. Anyway, but yes, I am truly thankful that ultimately our safety comes from the Lord, and our comfort is in Him. And even for my children, like, as much as I try to help them feel safe and whatnot, ultimately their comfort comes from the Lord as well. And I'm thankful for just that little moment where I can point them to Him. Hi, babies. Did Asher bring you inside?
Yes.
Yeah. I just came in from sitting in the car. The rain slacked off. And it would appear that Asher was very concerned about the birds being outside. That's a fair concern. But what's sweet is he put them in a high place and they're watching Wildcrats together. Aren't you? Yeah. I'm in our office / homeschool space / craft, whatever, kind of miscellaneous room. When it's tidy, this is one of my favorite areas in our home, but it is not tidy right now. It's still raining a little outside, so I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to set a 20-minute timer and see how tidy I can get it in that 20 minutes. It won't be perfect, but hopefully in 20 minutes, it'll be a whole lot better. My timer hasn't gone off, so I guess that was actually less than 20 minutes. It's not perfect, but my goodness, it's a lot better. My favorite improvement was simply folding up the card table that was right here. It instantly made the room feel better. And sweeping the floor and just tidying some things up. We do have a couple of doom piles, if you're familiar with those. One is I always pile stuff up kind of over on a shelf that we have over here, or counter space, for my husband to take care of. He's in charge of electronics and all the cords and cables and all the things that go with that. So I usually just pile those up and then he puts them where he likes to keep them. And then I created a little doom pile for Asher and a couple of, I don't think they even fall under doom pile category things for me that are just more like, I wasn't going to do them right then during that quick clean. I'll do them later. Not a big deal. So those are on my desk. But other than that, I mean, it actually started raining harder at one point. So I was glad that I chose to do something inside instead of going outside and then kind of getting caught up in the rain again in the middle of that. So I feel good about doing that. It's really just kind of drizzling right now, maybe a little heavier than a drizzle. So I'm gonna see what I can accomplish in this in this condition. If it starts getting heavier, I'll just grab the phone and run. We'll see. These are seeds that I got from the seed library. This is sweet pepper, long pepper blend. I can't tell if it's in focus. So if you remember, these are the Pickens County seed library. I got these when we were at that event at the Clemson University Botanical Garden. It's starting to rain harder. Let's see if oh no, tape! Let's see if I can get this one in. And this is, again, seed library. It's they're chocolate bell peppers. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It said, I don't want to be planted now. You will. Okay. Time to grab the tripod and run. It ended up raining a lot yesterday. I wasn't expecting that much rain. I thought we were just supposed to get like a quick shower, and we had rain off and on for hours. So I never came back out to finish planting seeds. I actually just did that. I waited until it was a little later in the day, and I hate to say when it wasn't so hot. I know I'm a weenie when it comes to heat. So my body will acclimate, and these temperatures will get to where I eventually say, oh, it's pretty warm outside. But for now, it still feels hot, especially when the sun's just like beating down directly, which is, you know, the ideal garden locations. So I just finished up the beds out here. 6 out of the 7 have things in them, and I still have the 7th one with it's completely empty again, so that as I'm going through and planting, I can either plant favorites in there, or if I go, oops, I left something out, I've got some space. So that's the plan right now. I probably don't have to say this, but that is definitely not where the chickens are supposed to be. They look pretty cozy though, don't they? Oh, good grief. I mentioned this area over here. It's in between our knockout roses here in an earlier video that I wasn't quite sure how to handle. Like dead canna lilies, basically. So today I just came in with some clippers and cut the dead ones off just kind of right at ground level. And now, sorry, baby kitty's hitting the phone. And now I can see where they're actually starting to grow, which is great. I was concerned that they weren't really growing. I had only seen one, and now I can see about a dozen of them, which is exciting. They're really pretty. The leaves in particular are just lots of fun. These are the green and yellow stripes there. So I think I started out with either 3 or 4, and now they're at least a dozen growing in there. Hey, baby kitty. You want to say hi? Oh, you look majestic in those roses. Yes, you do. You just look wonderful in them. First, look at these cute little earrings. Aren't they so sweet? One of my best friends, Kate, sent these to me just as a little Cersei, which I thought was so sweet. So kind. Kate is Emma Grace's mom. Emma Grace was on one of our recent videos. 2 updates. One sad, one hopeful. So we lost one of our chicks last night. It was the little one that Asher had named Eagle, the one who had the little hooked beak, the cross beak. She didn't make it. So that was sad last night to experience that, but she passed away while I was holding her, and she was getting some snuggles and love and everything. So that was a sad loss. And today, Asher and I noticed that some of our ducklings were like flipping over and then couldn't get themselves back up. I did a little research, and it seems to be a niacin deficiency, which is totally correctable. So we needed to go to Tractor Supply anyway to get some food. So we have been feeding our ducklings the same food we've been feeding our chicks, which is what we did before because we had all of our ducklings and chicks together. Now that we have the ducklings separate from the chicks, it should be a little easier to feed them the food that's actually formulated for ducklings or for ducks, which has higher levels of niacin in it, which is supposed to help with their overall bone strength, like something. But apparently they're probably just a little weak right now because of a niacin deficiency. We can boost that. I also got them, it was a supplement that you can add to their water. So hopefully that was worth it and not one of those things where they basically rip me off like, ha, you don't really need this, but we're gonna make you think you need it, you know? So when we got back, we went ahead and swapped their food out, gave them new water with the supplement in it, and hopefully we'll see an improvement pretty quickly with that. So feeling good, because let me tell you, like, I was sad about the chick, but y'all know these little ducklings have like captured my heart. So I'm gonna be really, really sad if something happens to them. Okay, so up next, you see Duke back here. I'm hoping I'll be able to see how he keeps getting on this side of the fence. We are not quite sure. Bo hasn't done it, but Duke has. He's done it a couple of times. We need to figure out how he's getting on this side and how the chickens are getting out of their new run. I tell you, every time we think we have everything like set up and great for them out here, it's like, how did they do that? How did they get out? Oh goodness. Oh well, keeping us on our toes, which is good in life, I guess. I am going to plant some seeds out here in the backyard in these 4x4 raised beds. You know, was that 2 days ago maybe? I planted the things that are going to go up the trellises of these beds. Now I'm going to plant just the things that are going in the rest of the beds. So here we go. I'm using my trusty yardstick here to make my oh so precise grid. Y'all can laugh if you want. For me, it's about getting it approximately right. You know, like the spacing just needs to be close. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know some people would probably see this and be like, no, it has to be perfect. I have let go of a lot of my perfectionism over the years because I found that perfectionism often was keeping me from doing things, because if I didn't think I could do something well enough, I wouldn't do it at all. So we kind of had to develop a motto around here. That's basically like finished, not perfect. Most things in life do not have to be perfect. Or honestly, a lot of things don't even have to be close to perfect. So, you know, it's better to jump in and do the best we can with what we have, time and resources wise, than wait around until some mystical, magical time when we can get things perfect, you know? And sometimes that's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to get things perfect. Have my trusty chopstick here. And I'm planting Craig's Grande jalapenos. I'm actually doing 4 of these, or well, 8 of these. I'm doing 2 seeds in each. And hopefully these will germinate well. These did initially germinate pretty well compared to everything I did in my winter sowing. Just then they haven't done great after that point. So I feel hopeful for these. I know it can take a while for peppers to really get going. This says they sprout in 7 to 10 days. We'll see. Lots of rain and pretty warm lately, so maybe that'll work out well. Most of what I'm planting back here is from seed. I'm going to show you real quick what I put in. I had a few cucumbers. I've got dragon's egg, Richmond green apple, and national pickling. I believe I ended up putting 2 of each. So, well, 2 seeds in each hole, but so that the goal is 2 plants of each. And then, so our sweet peppers are in the front yard and our hot peppers are in the backyard. Oh dear. You know, we've been trying to separate the chickens from Ricky, and Ricky's been out here in the garden area, and the chickens are supposed to be in the chicken run, but the chickens keep getting out. So, okay, so I think I showed you the Craig's Grande jalapeno. The goal is, I guess, 8 plants of these, because my primary use for jalapenos is going to be salsa, and this is a good, you know, level of heat for our family. And then we have lots of soups and different things like that we also like jalapenos in. So I thought, let's try to get a bunch of those. And then honestly, the only one out of these that I've ever had before is the it's Red Rocket cayenne pepper. And my goal there, gosh, y'all can see my dirty fingernails. I don't wear gloves. It freaks my husband out. Which is something I learned about him this year. So if you've been married for a while, we're 15 years in, just learned this about him this year, that he doesn't like to touch dirt. He likes to wear gloves. And it kind of freaks him out that it doesn't bother me to touch dirt. Anyway, yeah, Red Rocket cayenne pepper. The main goal for these peppers is to be able to dry them to make crushed red pepper and cayenne pepper, like for cooking. And then these I've never had before, but they sounded good. Sugar Rush peach. I thought it could be really cool to make like a peach salsa. Our neck of the woods, peaches are abundant in the summer. Oh gosh, now I feel silly. Summer sounds right. I've never grown peaches. Fish peppers, I think they're like a small pepper, but spicy. So I just thought it'd be interesting to try something different. And then pumpkin spice jalapeno. Again, could be fun to make like a seasonal salsa for the fall or something. And then I think I had some sort of sense of obligation to try planting okra. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that our family will enjoy it. This is the Clemson spineless variety of okra. So you know, I grew up here in South Carolina toward the coast. I can remember okra being in our like vegetable soup and stuff like that. And I didn't love it necessarily, but because it was kind of mixed in with stuff, I would eat it. I wasn't one to like eat like fried okra and all that kind of stuff. Lots of people around me did. I just never really did. So I started eating okra when I was, I guess, in my 30s. But it was because of a program called Trim Healthy Mama. They actually hide okra in a lot of their recipes. And usually that looks like buying the frozen okra and then blending it into something. So this is still different from that, obviously. And I'm curious. I'm hoping that Asher will like it. Asher, he likes more of our veggies than most of us do, honestly. And then corn. So I think I mentioned when I planted the strawberry popcorn that I needed to check and see like how many days to harvest the different corn plants are, the different varieties, so that I don't end up unintentionally cross-pollinating them. So I did that today. I looked up, I have 4 varieties of corn that I'm going to plant. And so I looked all those up and kind of made a plan. I'd already planted the strawberry popcorn, so I kind of had to plan it around that. But honestly, it actually worked out okay. So I had peaches and cream corn. So I went ahead and got that one in today. And then when I harvest this one, we'll still have enough time in the season because this was one of the shorter ones. We've got another one that's not quite as long either. It's called Montana Lavender Clay. I bought that one for the chickens, and because it's pretty, it's purple corn, guys, purple. The main one I want to eat is this peaches and cream. I don't know why I didn't buy more. I was actually thinking about that as I was planting stuff. One of the things that I'm learning is like how many seeds I need of different types of plants, because I didn't really know exactly what I was doing when I was buying seeds. Now a lot of stuff like I knew, like we'll probably grow a few cucumber plants, like okay, a pack that's got 20 seeds, that's plenty. But when thinking about corn, like this had 30 seeds in it, it would have been nice to have a little more. Anyway, so speaking of this glass gem corn I bought off Amazon, and it's also for the chickens, because it's more of a flat corn that you would use to make, like to grind for flour, but they can also eat it. But it's really pretty. Like every ear of corn is lots of different colors. It's called glass gem, so I'm guessing like stained glass colors and stuff. So yeah, another plant I chose because I think it's pretty. So I went ahead and put these in. I believe this was the longest variety. So like I said, once I harvest the peaches and cream, I'll put the Montana in its place, and this will still be growing. And I had 100 of these. I've still got like half a pack maybe. Doing the 4x4 beds, even only doing 3 rows, so that's 12 squares, 4 in each square, so that's 48. I only had 32 seeds of the peaches and cream. They put a couple extra in there. So the spaces that I had left over, I just went ahead and put the glass gem in there and put them in another bed as well. So I think that gave me, let's see, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 48 is a number. Okay, so that's what I did by seed, and I'm actually about to transplant some tomatillos. These are some of the best plants that I had as far as like the results I got from the winter sowing. These ended up doing pretty well. So I have a purple variety. I'm doing 2 of these plants, and then this one's called Grande Rio Verde, I believe. Sorry, my accent's terrible. This one looks okay. This one does not look that great, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to plant it pretty deep because I'm pretty sure tomatillos are like tomatoes. You can plant them pretty deep. And then it'll strengthen itself essentially. So that's my goal, is to try this. If it doesn't do well, I'll put in a seed in its place and we'll go from there. We'll see. Again, tomatillos are so that I can make salsa. We like salsa. And I have friends who like salsa, so I thought that would be fun to be able to enjoy it ourselves and to be able to share with friends. Look at those little plant babies. Okay, that was really satisfying. That's the first time I've ever grown something from seed to transplant before, like, and actually transplanted it into a garden bed. Like, it's exciting. It's really exciting for me. So I hope they thrive there, and I keep praying I have been praying over the plants that God would bless them, bless the harvest, give the rain that we need, the nutrients that we need and everything. Thanking him just for the seeds and the space and all the different things, but also praying for myself that God would help me steward all this well, that he would give me the discipline, the focus and whatnot that I need to remember that I have plants. Like, guys, I just forget things sometimes. Like, when I see something over and over, after a while, I don't see it anymore. And so just hopefully things will, sorry, my dirty hands. Hopefully things will stay exciting enough that I don't forget about them. But this has been fun. So this is 4 out of the 6 4x4 raised beds that we have here in the backyard. So I have 2 that have, I think, 14 out of the 16 spots still available. So I've got to figure out what I want to put there. And then I've got, let's see if I'll turn you over here, is where I've got 4 more trellises and 8 2x4 raised beds. So that's the next area that I'm going to plant in. Hopefully I can make some good progress on that tomorrow. Because my goal, tomorrow's Friday, and that was my goal, was to have everything planted out by tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll get everything. I don't think I'll have all of like the produce and the flowers. So my goal would be to at least have all the produce planted. So hopefully that'll happen. I'm not sure what the weather's supposed to be like tomorrow. It's pretty cloudy, so I think we're still supposed to get some more rain. Which again, I'm thankful for the rain, but I'm walking around in soggy shoes. I should have worn my boots today. Like, every step I take is like squish, squish, squish. So I'm calling it for the day. I'm gonna go inside, take off these wet shoes, enjoy some dinner. Actually, I think I am gonna see if my family wants to go. We've got a Lowe's order to pick up that has some brackets that we need to do the updated roosting bars for the coop. We need to get that done this weekend. And also, I was calling them, I think, masonry trellises. That's not the right word. If you want to look them up, I'll show them to you once we pick them up. But they're called ladder mesh, and they're right under $5 a piece now. From videos and stuff I've seen, they definitely used to be more like $3 a piece, which would have been nice. But I think they'll be a good addition to our raised bed. So I'll show those to you. And one of the, like, these beds right here will have those in them. And then I've got a couple spots up front that are going to have them as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how those work out. So I'm not going to close this video out just yet.
Rolling.
Okay. This is the ladder mesh that I ordered from Lowe's. This is, I think, 9 of them. So you can see they have some similar openings like what you see on the cattle panel, just a little bit longer. They're used in masonry, period. That's all I know about them. I think they're 10 feet long and in the 5 to 6 inch wide range. This bag is the brackets that we ordered. We'll show you that when we work on the roosting bars. But we need to do dinner and stuff, so I'm not going to try to install these tonight. So that'll be on a different video, but I wanted to show them to you since we did pick them up and I mentioned them. So ladder mesh, and Lowe's and Home Depot have them, so I'm sure other like hardware stores carry them as well. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I appreciate your time coming to hang out with us here. And remember, God made you in his image for a purpose, and you are so very